What's up, guys? My name is Mr. Wrestling. So, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing Monday Night Raw review. I'll get into that in a little bit, but first, let me just introduce you to my channel. So, on my channel, I'm going to be doing SmackDown and Raw reviews, predictions, pay-per-view reviews, and WWE news, and maybe some other stuff, who knows. But, so yeah, now let's get into Monday Night Raw review. So, Raw starts off with a promo between Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman, promoting Brock Lesnar. Then Vince McMahon comes out and he says, "Oh, Finn Balor is going to brutally lose to Brock." Then Finn Balor comes out and goes, "Watch me as I win the Universal Championship." And that got me thinking: is Vince McMahon saying to turn the crowd? Finn Balor definitely won't win. So it's maybe thinking maybe they're trying to trick us, and then he will win. Or knowing WWE, they're probably gonna just stick to their word, and they're just gonna have Finn Balor lose to Brock in 2 seconds. Not saying that's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did. But who knows? I hope Finn Balor does win. I think it would be a great. Championship moment. I think it would be one of the best. And then Braun Strowman comes out and he goes, "Oh, last week was the worst week of my life. I'm going to wreak hell." And I thought this was a good promo. It really put up Finn Balor. Finn Balor, I think, is doing great in the WWE. But I think it's fairly obvious is because they're scared of him going to AEW. So, I think, believe me, when WWE is forced to listen to the fans, it always pays off. Look at the Attitude Era. They couldn't just do what they wanted because they had a time limit. They could go out of business, and the effect was great. The reaction was good. That's why the Attitude Era is so iconic. Then we got a match between Finn Balor and Braun Strowman. It was an alright match. It was nothing special. And then it ended with a DQ with Brock Lesnar F5ing Finn Balor. Honestly, I think this is one of the top of my favorite Brock Lesnar rivalries recently. AJ Styles was good. Daniel Bryan, it was a good match, don't get me wrong. But it wasn't a rivalry, And then Roman Reigns, it's not what people want to see. And then Braun Strowman, No Mercy was bad. Royal Rumble last year, it was better, but not great. And then at Crown Jewel, it was longer than the No Mercy match, but still, why? But Finn Balor, I'm into this. It's exciting. This is something I'm really excited for this Sunday at the Royal Rumble, and I hope it doesn't disappoint. Then we got the weirdest segment with Bobby Lashley and Apollo Crews in a bodybuilding competition. I don't know what that was. If you watch him in TNA, Bobby Lashley is great, perfect heel. In WWE, he's boring as a face. And he's not boring as a heel. It's weird. Like him poking at his butt. That's kind of weird. It's not exactly why I tune into Raw. And so for that, I don't really care. But when you do it with our Intercontinental Championship, our prestigious title, the title that we all love, the main title of Raw, the Universal title's not here anymore. The Intercontinental title is. Like the one that Miz and Seth Rollins made prestigious. Now he's wearing it while poking at his butt. It's really depressing, honestly. And God, I really hope he loses the title sooner rather than later. God, I can't stand it. Then we got a program between Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. Honestly, I love these two guys. I think the WWE would be great if Seth Rollins was the top face of the company and Drew McIntyre was the top heel of the company. Believe me, that would be terrific. So they had a promo where they're both saying, "Oh, we're gonna win the Royal Rumble and go on the main event WrestleMania." And then they had a match. It was a good match, two are great performers, so obviously you're bound to have a good match. Where Seth Rollins won, so he has momentum going into the Royal Rumble. Honestly, I think Seth Rollins is going to win. He has been the workhorse of WWE the past 12 months. He's done a lot for Raw. Believe me, he's the only reason I actually tuned into Raw. So I think he's earned the Universal Championship. He's earned it. I think he deserves it. He'd be a great champion. I know his WWE title reign wasn't that good. He was always scared. He lost most of his matches that weren't the title matches. But if his Intercontinental Championship reign show anything, is that if booked right, he can be a fantastic champion. Honestly, I think he works better as a babyface than a heel, honestly. I think that's my opinion, but I think it's good. And if Drew McIntyre wins, I would prefer Seth Rollins, but I would be happy too, because I think Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar could be good. Or Seth versus Brock, or Seth versus Balor. That could be great too. So all that seems great, so I'm just hoping for the best. Fingers crossed. Then we got this pretty good promo from Dean Ambrose. I thought it was decent, where he's saying he's going to win the Men's Royal Rumble. And I think he might also too, because he lost his Intercontinental Championship pretty early. I think WWE has some big plans. Honestly, if they have Finn Balor win, imagine a triple threat match between Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose. That would be great. I would love that. They're all a couple of my favorite wrestlers. Now, we could even have a fatal four-way with Drew McIntyre in there too. That would be a perfect WrestleMania main event. So I hope that happens. I'm a big fan of Dean Ambrose, so I'm just hoping for the best. It was a good promo. Then we had a concert from Elias. I like Elias as a babyface and as a heel. He's terrific in both roles. And when Baron Corbin interrupts him, I forget what Baron Corbin said, then Elias said, "Why are you still wearing that suit? You got fired from being Raw general manager." And it was hilarious that he called him out on it, because everybody else was saying that. I remember a YouTuber that I watch called The Great One. He's also a wrestling YouTuber. He said the exact same thing. For a second there, I forget that he's not the general manager. Why is he still wearing a suit? And I tend to agree, and I'm glad that Elias called him out on it. It was funny. Then they had a match where Baron Corbin won. Then we had the War Raiders debut on Raw. Nothing too special. That's literally all I have to say. They debuted on Raw. Then we had a moment of bliss. Probably one of the worst segments WWE has ever had. It's so boring. It makes no sense, except for last week's episode where she unveiled the women's tag titles. But other than that, there's literally nothing about this show. Miz TV, it's he gets attacked. It's entertaining. This one, it has no value to it. No value at all. It's horrible. But Lacey Evans did make her debut. I don't know much about her, but from what I saw last night, it seems good. It looks like her future is pretty bright. I hope so, at least. God, I can't believe what WWE is doing with the new NXT stars. They're burying them. Except for probably Drew McIntyre and Andrade Cien Almas. Now, before now, Andrade Cien Almas was just losing. He picked up for the past 2 weeks, he picked up victories over Rey Mysterio. And kudos to him. Last week's match was great. We'll get into that another time. So yeah, a moment of bliss, nothing too special. Then we had Mahal and the Singh brothers versus the Lucha House Party. Oh man, Jinder Mahal, what happened? I bet this time about a year ago, he was competing for the WWE Championship, the United States Championship. He he was a big star on SmackDown. He was the WWE champion, not around this time. And to see him where he is now, he's jobbing out to like Lucha House Party. Well, I don't think they lost. I could be wrong, but like the fact that he's facing Lucha House Party when a year ago he was WWE champion, that's just in short time. Like he was a WWE champion, and now look at him. He's feuding with Lucha House Party. That's just sad. That's literally all I have to say. Sorry about these segments. These segments were just like filler, so I don't have anything special to say about them. But yeah, I think this is it's just depressing to see where he is now. Okay, we'll move on to the next thing. Then we had the Revival versus Root and Gable. Wasn't special, but it was for the tag titles. I appreciate that. But why have the Revival lose again? Why? They're so talented. They could be great tag champions. Just proof that WWE doesn't listen to their fans. Actually, it's pretty obvious because if they listened to their fans, we would have Seth Rollins or Drew McIntyre as Universal Champion right now. We'd have, I don't know, Dolph Ziggler as Intercontinental Champion. I don't know who exactly. It wouldn't be Bobby Lashley. I'm just going to say that. And then we would have the Revival as Raw Tag Champs. It's pretty cool. Like, why won't you push them? But on SmackDown, on the other hand, we have Daniel Bryan as WWE Champion. We have Rusev as Champion. We have Sheamus and Cesaro. Cesaro, one of the most talented guys. I mean, yeah, people would see him on his own, but he's a champion. And you have Asuka. I preferably would prefer Becky Lynch. I mean, well, I shouldn't give Raw any total credit. They have Ronda Rousey as champion. That's pretty good. But nothing else is important. And it's just sad, honestly. But, then after the match, Zack Ryder came out, and it looks like we now get Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder reunion. That, I think, is good, because neither one of them have been doing anything. Honestly, I think this could be now the point where Hawkins loses, or breaks his losing streak. I think so. I could be wrong, but, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, so fingers crossed. So then we got the main event. Sasha and Bayley versus Ronda and Natalya. It wasn't anything special, really. Like, you could have had this earlier on the card. Why not make the Revival versus Chad, Root, and Gable the main event? That would have been a better Raw main event. It was for the tag titles. I mean, you know? But, however, this was alright. Not really that excited. I'm a little excited for the match, but this is not the way to pump me up, you know? So that's my Monday Night Raw review. I thought it was okay as a Raw episode, although it, like, on a go-home show, like Raw and SmackDown, like the final episode before Royal Rumble, before any pay-per-view, it should, like, pump you up for the pay-per-view. This one, it kind of didn't. I hope SmackDown is different today, or tomorrow, who knows, whenever I release this. I hope it's different, because it should be. It should pump you up for Royal Rumble. Like, this is where you're going to find out who's going to face who for WrestleMania. I mean, I think it's going to be Seth Rollins, but I'll put that in my predictions video. But it was a good Raw. It was decent enough. I'm going to give it 3 out of 3.5 stars. Or, actually, no, 3 stars. It was good, not great. That's fine, but I hope you guys like this, my Monday Night Raw review, and I'm going to try to do these every week, and welcome to my channel.